think we can get started. Let's kick it off.
Okay.
As the interim board president and treasurer, I would like to thank Michael Pucci and South Orange Public Library for tech support, without whom this meeting probably was not possible for CivicStory. And I do want to acknowledge some of the members that were part of the 21 to 22 team and are not here, especially our board president, Pamela Daniels. She has spent quite some time with CivicStory and was the president and was leading it full charge. And she also helped out some of the trying times I hear before I joined. So that was very interesting. I got to interact with her full of last year. And it was, she was always full of different kind of energy. So it kept people going. Treasurer Marian Rabb, probably everybody knew her. She was fantastic at what she did, and being interim treasurer and taking it over from her, and with support of Lynn, it was easy. So I think a job well done. We had Julia Sommer. She was program chair and secretary for, I think since I joined, I've seen her do that. And she did a fantastic job keeping us all honest with all the meeting notes and everything as we moved along. Then we had Vincent. Vincent joined in for a short time. He was our summer intern and also an information coordinator. And for the short time he was here, he was very impactful, very meticulous, and did help us out. And then Elaine, who I was again for a short time. Elaine and I basically we joined in probably at the same time when we met Susan, but for some reason, Elaine had to pursue other things, and then she could not continue, but I think she also enjoyed her time at CivicStory, and we enjoyed hers. And one person that's still part of our team from 2021-22 is Alex, and Alex is our forum moderator. And I don't see Alex was able to make it today, but Alex Rivera, very strategic thinking, and I think the first thing he told me was he wanted to understand how we can sort of combine some of the financial and strategic initiatives. That was pretty impressive. With that, I would actually turn over to Lynn to give a financial summary on that, on our 21-22 the year. So Lynn, over to you.
Okay, thanks. I think I can share here. We'll see.
Yep, we can see it.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. This is the statement of activity for fiscal year 22, so covering July 2021 to June 2022. The normal categories of funding, earned revenue, foundations, and then gifts from individuals gave us $82,149 in revenue. Then we had various expenditures in the main three categories. Program expenses, $19,688, management in general, $18,809, and fundraising, $49,09. Plus hub expenses, so $14,093, giving us total expenditures of $57,498. That gave us a net income of $24,651. Now we like to say that's what we had for the year, but being realistic, this number includes a one-time win from a raffle that Susan generously donated. if we just continued, considered regular operating this year, then this number would have been around $14,100. But still in the black for the year. So that's the statement of activity. Any questions? If not, I'll take a minute to bring up the statement of financial position. Okay, I'm sharing that. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, this is our statement of financial position as of June 30, 2022. Cash in the bank, we had 29,452. Expected pledges that we expected to receive at that time, 1,965. Our video archives are valued at 17,300 minus depreciation. So total assets, adding those all up, of 48,218. At that time, we owed 83.53 in accounts payable and another 3,000 payable related to the fellows, and then our restricted and unrestricted assets, and those all total, again, what the liabilities total 48,218, equal to the assets 48,218. And that's basically it.
Thanks, Lynn.
Okay, stop the share. You're welcome.
All right, Susan, we move on to the program summary.
Sure. We had quite a few programs, so I think we'll start with Mary and Glenn, who will just comment on the third and fourth fellowships of the New Jersey Sustainability News Project.
Thanks, Susan. Can you all hear me? So,
Yes.
good. I just thought I would quickly review the phase 3 and 4 Sustainability Reporting Hub, which pretty much corresponds to fiscal year 2022. So phase 3 involved mostly university newsrooms, 2 in North Jersey, 1 at New Jersey City University in Jersey City, and the newsroom at NJIT in Newark, and 1 in South Jersey at Stockton University, and 1 Hamilton Gazette, which was a local professional journalist. So the 5 fellows published their news stories during the school year, more or less from September through April. Then phase 4 of the reporting hub added 6 professional reporters, as well as these 3 student-run newspapers, working in newsrooms all across New Jersey, in addition to the 3 universities. So all in all, there were 11 fellows, and they published 51 stories. So I would just encourage you, if you haven't visited the CivicStory website, take a look at a couple of interesting graphics there. One of them allows you to click on the different 21 counties in New Jersey and get a list of stories that are related to those counties. And all of the stories are there, available to be read. And there's a list, a kind of table of contents on the side. So there's a real record of all 4 phases. And now we're going to be moving into the 5th. I guess Susan asked me to comment on the topics of the stories. And I think what impressed me was how many of the stories involved agriculture, which I guess, we know about plastics and water and biodiversity, but this is the Garden State. So I thought, here we are at the Garden State, and sure enough, there's an interest and a need to understand more about agriculture. So any comments from other people about the reporting hubs? That I was not directly involved with any of the fellows. So if you have a couple of comments, we've got a couple of minutes to hear. And if no comments, I'll turn it back to Susan.
Thanks, Marion. We'll just say that the site srhub.org is the project site. So that's where all those stories are from the fellows. And we want to just do a quick nod to Professor John DeGood at TCNJ, because he was the catalyst for students working on projects that increased the functionality of our sites. And so that story map grew out of his course. So thank you, John. Thanks. We'll move on then to other aspects of programming. Public forums. We're grateful to have presented 2 public forums via Zoom. One was in July, chaired by Trustee Alex Rivera. It was entitled Civics and Environmental Stewardship, and it was a conversation with Lee Clark, who's with NJDEP's Green Acres program, and Tobias Fox, who's with Newark Science and Sustainability, an urban farming organizer, very effective. So it was a great conversation. The second forum was in November, moderated by our senior editor, Jenny Aylward. This was called Amplify Youth Leadership, Turning Words into Action after COP26. And there was a lot of thinking. One of the students featured had been at COP26. So those 3 students were Venetia Patel of TCNJ, Frida Ruiz, an engineering major at Princeton University, and Clara Cho, a graduate student studying food systems at Tufts University. So it was very dynamic thinking and just very ably moderated by Jenny. Moving on to a third aspect of our programming is fellowships and interns. Part of the past fiscal year, beginning July 1st, 2021, we still had Abby Orff with us, who is Newsroom Innovation Fellow from University of Missouri. She worked through August 18th, 2021, and she was just great, really kept us going through the summer. We also had Jamie Lee, a summer research intern through the Princeton Community Engaged Scholars Program, the Process Program. She was researching sustainability news in New Jersey, working with the head librarian, Firestone Library. So she was there through July 21. And then this past summer, we were really thrilled to have Jordan Akers here as summer sustainability ambassador. And Jordan wrote many blogs and articles, and he's with us this evening. So Jordan, we'd love to hear your 30 seconds, 1 minute on what was surprising, what was great, what did you learn unexpectedly from that program? Welcome, Jordan.
Yeah, I think it was an incredibly valuable experience just to learn sort of the journalism process and like going through the whole journey of writing an article and just being able to engage with people both in the New Jersey community and really worldwide. I mean, I was doing the internship from here in Paris, and I was able to talk to people both in New Jersey, and I one of my interviews I did in French, and I talked to like someone doing a similar thing here, and just to learn about the different community-based efforts centered around environmentalism and sustainability was really eye-opening, and it was really fun way to spend the summer. So yeah, very, very thankful for the experience.
And you're back at Yale as a junior. Just a word, how is it going?
It's good. Well, I'm actually still abroad, on a semester abroad right now, and I'll be back in the spring.
Okay, great. Well, great to have you, Jordan. It was wonderful last summer, and we've, as Vipov mentioned, we really thank Vincent Onofre, trustee, who was such a able and generous help to you over the summer as a journalist. So that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the fourth aspect was staff growth last year that enabled all this programming to happen, and that was certainly due to our first ever senior editor, Jenny Aylward. So over to you, Jeff, for a quick review.
Okay, well, I had the pleasure of working with Jenny at least every Monday. We had our editorial meetings, and she was a pleasure to work with. She was very, very buttoned up. Much more organized than I ever was, and was very good with Excel sheets and all the rest of those things that keep people on track. And she did an excellent job managing all of the student and professional journalists involved with the contributing to the SR Hub. And as any of you know, working with journalists, especially student journalists, it can be like herding cats. And she did a very, very good job of getting those people in line and getting their stories edited and put up on the Hub. And in addition, she was a very good writer herself. She contributed several articles to the website. And her latest one on plastic recycling is rather fascinating and interesting as to what happens with your plastic once it leaves your house. So again, a pleasure working with Jenny. We'll miss her, but she has decided to move on. And we have a new senior editor whom you'll hear from later, I suspect. Back to you, Susan.
Thanks so much, Jeff. And we want to just thank you for the dedication all year, weekly meetings and more. We'll get to that when we talk about our advisors. So thanks to you, and back to Vaibhav.
Thanks everyone. I think this brings us to the part of the nominations and the elections of the officers for 2022-23. And I guess I'll do the honors of nominating myself first as the president and the treasurer. And so I basically I'll put forth the motion.
Vaibhav, I think we'll do the whole slate at once, or
You want to do it all at once? All right.
I think
Okay.
Genevieve was going to present the slate, but I might be wrong.
No, I think that's right.
Yeah, I
That's
think
correct.
Genevieve was going to present.
That's
the
correct.
slate.
Okay, Genevieve, over to you. Then go ahead,
If
please.
she agreed to it, which it apparently looks like she did.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I
she
did.
did. She did.
Shall I present now?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, excellent. All right. Good evening, everyone. So my name is Genevieve Manderville, and I have the pleasure to nominate the officers, the slate of officers. So I nominate the following slate of officers for the coming year, starting today. President and Treasurer, Vaibhav Sharma. Vice President, Genevieve Manderville. Vice President, Susan Haig. Secretary, Dr. Marion Glenn. Seeing we have a quorum, I make a motion to support the nomination of these officers. So is there, I guess I've nominated, or I should say, I moved the motion to nominate these officers. And is there a second to this nomination?
Yes, I second that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So moved. These are the officers of CivicStory Board.
Yep.
And all
Yeah,
in
okay.
favor?
Yeah.
All in favor?
All in favor? Sorry, I missed that part. Aye.
Aye.
Any
Only
oppositions?
trustees can vote, right? Susan, only trustees can vote, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seeing no oppositions, then this is the slate of officers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Genevieve.
You're welcome.
Susan, do you want to take over for the new advisor? Just
Maybe we could acknowledge,
You're on mute,
Genevieve,
Jen.
you're on mute. Genevieve, you're saying something.
I'm happy to acknowledge last year's advisors at this point. Would that work?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. We have, CivicStory has an advisory council. It had 9 individuals this past year, and it's a great way to increase capacity. And this was a very active council in different ways. And I'll just acknowledge each of them because they all had a role. Jeffrey Belinfante, as we mentioned, was on the editorial advisory. In addition, he was on several selection committees. He was on the selection committee for the fellows, and he was also on the selection committee for our development specialist. And that takes time, going through all those applications. Lee Clark was a forum speaker, as mentioned last year, and also spoke with the fellows. Maya Curry, she is Director of Communications and Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Newark Regional Business Council, and she has been fabulous introducing us to people and giving advice all the way through this year, and recently being on selection committees. John Gertner, journalism, a writer and author. He worked with Abby Orff last summer during her fellowship. Andy Cricken, a water specialist, really known very widely. He had a training session with our Sustainability News Fellows. Richard Lawton. Hi, Richard. Richard's here and serves on the Finance Committee with a kind of strategic growth view and a lot of experience and in sustainability. So he's great to have. John Mooney's been a longtime advisor, just whenever we need it. And he also very graciously gave a training session to the Sustainability News Fellows in the fourth fellowship. Daniela Shevitz, PhD at Kane University, has given advice on sustainability. She was on the advisory council, on the advisory board for the early phases of the Sustainability Hub. She works with Groundwork Elizabeth, and she's been great to have. And then Jennifer Sneed, a strategic communications consultant based in Newark. She served on the senior editor search committee, so put in a lot of time. She had a window at the beginning of the year. So we are extremely grateful for the expertise that these advisors bring in various ways at various times during the year. So I think now we could welcome a new advisor. Genevieve, would you want to do that?
Sure. All right. So I'm pleased to nominate Dr. Carla Robinson to CivicStory Advisory Board. Dr. Robinson is Executive Director of United Parks as One, a Newark-based not-for-profit, and has generously given CivicStory her helpful advice during the past year, and is willing to serve on CivicStory's governance committee. I move to affirm Dr. Robinson as CivicStory advisor. May I get a second?
I second that.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, thank you, Carla, and we welcome you for further guidance.
And I'd love to add that Carla is also co-chair of the Newark Environmental Commission, so she's busy in that role. And her past work academically, she holds a PhD in urban planning, and she taught at Spelman way back. She taught in the honors program, and Stacey Abrams was one of her students. So I think Carla's not going to toot her own horn, but we will. Her background's just incredible. So thank you so much, Carla, for all the help you've given.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm happy to be working with you in a more formal role. Actually, now I'm not on the Environmental Commission. I stepped down from that, I think it was about 2017, but I am on the Newark Green Team
Okay.
currently. Yeah, so that's what I'm still involved with.
Okay. Great.
Excellent. Thanks, Carla. Thanks, Susan. And thank you, Genevieve. So it's time to introduce two new fantastic hires for CivicStory. And I'll start with the development specialist. I guess some of you already have met her. So I welcome Wanda Napick onto CivicStory as a development specialist. Wanda, if you look at her profile, she's a lot of things. She's an environmentalist, she's an entrepreneur, educator, permaculture designer, activist, and she's passionate about connecting young people to the natural world and cultivating ecological awareness. And her leadership and collaboration and project management skills have impacted many local environmental initiatives. She's focused on sharing stories of action and hope, which is what CivicStory is all about, and amplifying the impact of environmental success across New Jersey and beyond. She's a graduate of New Jersey Institute of Technology and Stillman School of Business, Seton Hall University, MBA. Welcome, Wanda. And if you would like to say a few things.
Thank you, Vaibhav, and thank you all. And you can summarize my bio in just saying that I'm a very, very strong, passionate tree hugger. And so some people don't view tree hugger as a good word or however it's viewed, but that's how I love to hug trees. And so my role as development specialist is to find funds to support this great work that we're doing, which is sharing stories of action and hope and bringing local resources together to amplify and replicate solutions. And so we need solutions pretty quickly to evolve over our neighborhoods and communities in New Jersey. And there's a lot of people that want to help. They just need to be directed sometimes. And so by telling these stories through our reporting and through our hub, I feel that we can have a really big impact on change happening quicker. And so there are pockets of really interesting and vibrant communities. I mean, Newark is an example that are really doing a lot of amazing hard work. And so let's bring those stories forth and have them in the mainstream news in some capacity. So I am really excited about the next fellowship and working with our new editor. And I'm excited to be part of the INN network, to have our news match campaign in November and December. All the donations are matched. And so we have Giving Tuesday tomorrow. And so hopefully we have a good turnout in donations tomorrow. And then I'm just grateful and thankful to all past, present, and future donors and foundations and partners that will help us succeed in our really ambitious endeavor of changing mainstream news and becoming more environmentally focused in one capacity, and civic sustainability and civics. And so it's really a deep honor and pleasure to be here. So thank you for having me. Thank you.
If I might chime in, just as a person who was on the search committee for Wanda, I just want to say that if half of her enthusiasm rubs off on the people that she reaches out to, this will be a very successful organization. So there you go, Wanda. Good luck.
Thank you, Jack.
And thank you, Wanda.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you all.
Thanks, Wanda. Thanks, Jeff. And our senior editor starting tomorrow is John Campbell. And he's a longtime journalist who has been working in local journalism for well over a decade. His work at newspapers on both coasts have often focused on social justice issues, frequently with a narrative or investigative angle. He spent 3 years as a feature staff writer at the Village Voice before a stint with Sunlight Foundation, a nonprofit focused on government watchdog and transparency advocacy. Today, he's an independent editor and writer, an avid outdoor person, and he takes every available opportunity to escape the city. Lives in Brooklyn with his partner. John, would you like to add something? And welcome.
Thank you, Vaibhav. I am very excited to be here. I don't think I have too much to add to my bio, but I am just excited to get started and dive into the very good work that's happening here. I've been really impressed with the work the fellows have produced, and I can't wait to continue that work and expand it. So I'm really excited to meet everybody and dive in headfirst tomorrow. So thank you for having me.
Thanks,
John,
John.
we're excited to have you. So Great.
John, I'm very excited.
Well, likewise. So I'm ready to get started.
Looking forward to working with you, John.
Excellent. Welcome again, John. I think John has joined us, John Mooney. Susan, so
Sure. Hi, John. And
Hey.
as mentioned, John has been a long time advisory board member, ready to help. And he used to say, well, when's the advisory board going to meet? You haven't asked me to meet. So that was about 9 and 8 and 7 years ago. But John, we so appreciate your willingness to partner and give help and advice and encouragement to CivicStory. And much more than that, all you have done for New Jersey in the past 14 years, which is just phenomenal. So we thought, who better than to welcome a new senior editor than John Mooney, who can really kind of give a sense of Jersey and maybe what needs to be known. So no dialogue necessarily, but just we'd love to hear from you, whatever you want to offer.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm thrilled to be here as well. I'm sorry I'm late. I was stuck in some netherworld, but Susan saved me, and so here I am. And welcome, John, and good to see everybody. Certainly, it is, and I think it's a very exciting and I wouldn't necessarily say the golden age of journalism, considering all the economic pressures, but what journalism can do in this day and age with the resources we have, and in New Jersey, where there is just a lot of experimenting and adventure going on in terms of what we're trying to do as an ecosystem. Welcome to the club. It's a really fascinating time to be in it. I've said for a long time that in all my years in mostly print journalism, I've never had so much fun as I'm having now as a journalist, in that the possibilities are so endless. And we're here to support, and certainly, John, reach out. Let's get together even and compare notes. Who knows? I'm guessing from your resume, we have some mutual friends across the world. And I'm just very excited for CivicStory and what lies ahead for all of us, because I do believe that there's some real great opportunities in working together, in combining forces to really tackle some big issues in this state. I really do think that there's some great opportunity out there. So let's keep talking, and welcome again.
Thank you,
John,
John.
one quick question, John, is regards INN, which of course you're a part of, and there has been such growth across the country of nonprofits, now more than 400. We can say it over and over, but it's hard to convey just the dynamic community out there. So if you want to just comment on what you see on the listserv, or just what you sense from that dynamic team and all those newsrooms across the country, it's there's incredible.
Yeah, and Jersey's not a lack of them. I mean, the lack of what we want, but I went to a meeting of the grantees for the New Jersey Consortium, Civic Consortium, the state grant program that started up a year or two ago, and there were 50, I'd say something like maybe 30 grantees represented there, and just the network of different ethnic media and local media and different language, Creole, Spanish language, on different platforms. Some were running as Facebook pages. Others, there's a great site in Central Jersey that is entirely a newsletter. We obviously have a lot of opportunity to cross-pollinate where we are working with NJPBS. So we're on multiple platforms at the same time. And I find it, as I said, it's an incredibly exciting time in getting it out there. I think one of our tasks is, impressing upon people that we are nonprofits and that we do rely on the support of our readers and viewers, and and Facebook followers. And that's, that is a critical time. It's very exciting that the nonprofit sector has jumped this deep into it. And a lot of it is because the nonprofit funding sector has also started to really embrace it in ways that they certainly didn't 15, 20 years ago. And so, I do think it's exciting, but it leaves us with a sustainability challenge, obviously, in finding ways that we can raise money, both through earned income, whether it's sponsorships or underwriting, or through the generosity of others. So it comes with its perils, but I do see it as the future of news in a lot of ways. I think also I'll toot our own horn. I think public media's got to step up. And that's including television, but also radio and other public media. I think it's part of their mission is to fill this void in news coverage and especially local news coverage. So yeah, that was a nice long answer to your question, Susan, but
well, it's great to hear that perspective, because you would encounter it more than anybody, and it's yeah.
But I also just, and I only saw a headline on this, but Gannett's announcing another 200 layoffs in its papers across the country, certainly several of which are in New Jersey. The famed Bergen Record, one of the great papers of all time, regional papers of its kind, is a shell of itself. So it does lend us a lot of possible freelancers out there to work with us. But it's obviously not necessarily a great sign for for a lot of people to rely on those old line legacy papers, as they do on television and a lot of other, we're at the cutting edge, but there's still a lot of folks behind us, that's for sure.
And I think the team ups with public media, the big one in Chicago between the Chicago Sun and Chicago Public Radio, and then in Baltimore, the Baltimore Banner plus Baltimore Public Radio, and then the head of Baltimore Public Radio is coming up to be head of WNYC. So that brings that exciting ethos of partnering.
Yeah, and WHYY to the south in Philly is gone through a lot of changes as well. So I mean, it's certainly, and Susan, you and I have talked about is all the potential of collaborations that we have among both vertically and horizontally, ones who are our peers, and certainly those who are, and I'm not even just saying hyperlocal, there's, a lot of ethnic media that's really strong, really powerful stuff that, to be honest, I, have underappreciated myself. And I'm, a relatively savvy media consumer. The average person hasn't seen them at all. So I think, it's partly incumbent on us to help others and get their content amplified as well.
And I think on that, for winding up, a shout out is in order for the Center for Cooperative Media, not only for what they do ongoing, but they did a big comprehensive study of New Jersey ethnic media. And that report was presented in 2019 in Paterson. And I happened to go to the lunch at the Paterson Public Library and met one of the editors of one of the longest running public ethnic media papers in New Jersey. And he became a participant in the first SR Hub. And I met Ambreen Ali there, and she became a fellow. So a lot of the SR Hub kind of was given a boost through that work that the Center for the Cooperative Media had done on the ethnic media side. So it's a great report. It's a very comprehensive report. You can see it on their site, and it's worth taking a look at.
They're a real jewel for Jersey, I gotta say. I mean, and it's why I'm hopeful, is because they've really been able to, I'm talking about the center at Montclair State. They've really been able to do a lot of things, not just in New Jersey, but nationally, and brought attention to a lot of really important things. So, credit to Stephanie Murray and her team.
Absolutely. Good. Well, thank you so much, John. We really appreciate your being here, sharing your views, and I know that you and John will have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, John, let's definitely, once things settle, I don't think they ever settle, but once they somewhat settle, let's figure out a way to connect. That'd be great. And
That
thank you.
sounds great. I
Thank
would
you
really
for having
appreciate
me.
that, Jim.
Great to, it's great to hear the conversation. It's invigorating to think that, there's some really powerful journalism happening out there. And it's a matter of being able to push it to the folks who need to read it and see it and engage in it.
Great.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
So I think our next section is an open section for any comments, greetings, questions.
Comments, questions, welcome. I'm going to say hi to Maya Curry because Maya's just been doing a lot of good work this year on all fronts, but very helpful to us. So hi, Maya.
Thank you, Susan. Very happy to be here and to hear the updates about everything that CivicStory has been doing, a lot of which I knew, some of which I didn't know. So always good to just get the updates and see and meet everyone.
Lovely to see you, Maya. We've been on the phone so much, but lovely to see your face. So thank you for all your beautiful, inquisitive questions during the interview process. I was like, ooh, Maya, she's got some good questions. So
thank you. And welcome to you and welcome to John.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with you, Maya, and everybody else.
I see Kathleen Weber's picture. She might be driving, but Kathleen, you've got such a sense of where students are with journalism. I don't know if you're there, but we'd love to hear a hello if you are.
Yeah, I just finished up, so sorry my camera's off, but our students, we would love to get involved again with CivicStory, where our seniors had tried to do some pitches. Was it last spring?
It was.
With you,
yep.
Right. And we're hoping that I'm not teaching that course in the spring, but I'm hoping there's some ways that we can possibly contribute in some way. But I'd really love to talk to Wanda and see how that might look.
And there may be the plan is for a fellowship that runs February to May, and that would involve student fellows as well as professionals. So if that's of interest to any of your students, if you can help get the word out to them pretty soon on that, that would be great.
Okay. Do you have a similar job description as last time, or? John
will be looking at it tomorrow.
Day one.
Look very much forward to speaking, Kathleen. Sorry, my cat had just jumped into my lap. I was distracted momentarily. She's it's getting near dinner time, and she will not be ignored. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, we would love to speak with you about
Great.
The next round. Yeah.
Okay. Terrific. Thank you.
If nothing else, then just a reminder. And I think Wanda already mentioned, Susan, I think you mentioned it once. It's Giving Tuesday and News Match. Gifts to CivicStory will be matched until 12/31, December 31. So, yeah, just wanted to get a reminder out.
Thank you, Vipaf.
Does that match begin tomorrow, or does it begin? Will donations made on Giving Tuesday count for the match money?
It will, and it's been going on all November and December that it's matched. But just Giving Tuesday is the global focus of nonprofit giving on tomorrow. So yes, it will be matched tomorrow and all of November and December.
And there's a bonus for new first-time donors. So if everybody on this call got 4 friends to give a small gift, doesn't matter how small, that'll count as a first-time donor. So encouragement.
I told my family, I said, okay, the gift is you're going to the CivicStory donate button, and that is going to be your Christmas gift to me. So and I have many family members. So we'll see how that goes.
That's great.
Okay, thank you for that, Wanda.
Speaking of, Vipov has a special birthday coming up. We're not going to say what one, but just wish him the best for a big birthday in the next few days.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I think Susan got to know because my wife was planning a surprise, and of course it couldn't be a surprise because my kids got to know and they started asking questions. I said, well, the surprise is for others who probably will show up is to basically not to get gifts and just click on that same button. So one day I try the same thing. Let's see how many go there. So.
Bina, you're welcome to wave it. Bina is a prospective board member, just needs to have a conversation or two with our board, but you're doing so many interesting things. So if you want to just weigh in on sustainability and is New Jersey pivoting fast enough? What are you seeing from your standpoint?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for the invitation. It was really great to hear what this organization has been doing. Like Susan said, I'm a sustainability consultant here in New Jersey. Not sure if I can really answer that question. It seems like in general, the world at large is not moving as fast as we need to. I don't know. I mean, New Jersey might be a little bit ahead of the curve, but still lots of work to do. So I think this is a great way of getting people engaged and educated and know what the real issues are.
Thanks, Bina. We look forward to learning from you. Your Bina's work with a lot of different companies on their sustainability strategy and lead stuff is just quite amazing.
Thank you.
Do you have your own consulting firm, Bina, or do you work for another firm?
I do. I have my own consulting firm going on about 12, 13 years now. And I do a lot of, like Susan said, lead certification, but sustainability strategies for different organizations in New Jersey and around and further from that. But yep.
Wonderful.
I'm an environmental engineer by training. So kind of sustainability is kind of a second career after my environmental engineering career.
Wonderful.
Great.
Okay. So I think I will bring it to a closure now. If nobody else has any questions or any last comments. And
Vipov, I think we'll
continue for 10 minutes. Yeah.
Vipov, I think we'll ask board and staff to stay on a couple minutes just to organize, just to look at schedule in the next week, because this is the first time we're all together and we don't want to wait 2 weeks, if that's okay. We have till 6 o'clock with Michael. Thank you so much, Michael.
Yes, absolutely. So I thank all the advisors and all the partners. Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Seeing how well you're doing is great. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thanks.